A major political realignment is unfolding ahead of Nigeria's 2027 presidential election, as the African Democratic Congress (ADC) faces mounting pressure from new electoral regulations that could ultimately steer the party toward adopting a consensus presidential candidate, with Peter Gregory Obi emerging as the most prominent name in circulation. The development follows sweeping changes introduced under the 2026 Electoral Act, which abolished indirect primaries and reinforced strict compliance requirements for political parties, particularly in the area of digital membership registration. The reforms, implemented by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), have introduced tighter timelines and mandatory digitization standards that several smaller parties are reportedly struggling to meet. ADC officials have publicly acknowledged their challenges. Speaking during a live television interview, the party's national publicity secretary, Bolaji Abdullahi, confirmed that the ADC may not be able to fully digitize its membership register within the one-month window stipulated under INEC's updated guidelines. Under the new rules, any political party seeking to conduct direct primaries must present a verifiable and digitized membership database. Without it, the legitimacy of such primaries could be questioned or outright rejected. The admission has triggered political speculation about the party's next move. With direct primaries now procedurally demanding and legally sensitive, attention has shifted to an alternative route permitted under Nigerian electoral law, the consensus candidate option. The law allows political parties to adopt a candidate through consensus, provided that the process is transparent, properly documented, and agreed upon by relevant stakeholders within the party. For ADC, political observers say, this provision may offer both a solution and an opportunity. Analysts argue that the inability to organize a compliant direct primary within the stipulated timeframe could compel the party to consolidate around a single aspirant, rather than risk internal contestation and regulatory backlash. In this context, the name generating the most traction is Peter Gregory Obi, former governor of Anambra State and the 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party. Obi, who gained national prominence during the 2023 elections, remains a significant figure in opposition politics. His campaign that year reshaped voter engagement patterns, particularly among urban youth and middle-class professionals. Although he did not secure victory, his performance was widely regarded as one of the most disruptive in Nigeria's recent political history. Political commentators note that ADC's current structural limitations may ironically strengthen Obi's prospects if the party chooses the consensus route. Unlike direct primaries, which require mass mobilization and a comprehensive digital register of members, consensus adoption depends largely on negotiations among party stakeholders and internal alignment. The law is strict, but it is not without options, said one Abuja-based political analyst. If ADC cannot meet the digital threshold for direct primaries, then consensus becomes the legally safer path. And if they are looking for a nationally recognized figure with an existing support base, Peter Obi fits that profile. INEC's new framework has been described by observers as one of the most enforcement-driven in recent electoral history. The Commission's timetable reportedly includes clear deadlines, compliance benchmarks, and documentation requirements aimed at strengthening internal party democracy and transparency. The emphasis on digitization reflects broader efforts to modernize electoral processes and reduce disputes arising from unverifiable delegate lists and opaque primary elections. However, for parties without established digital infrastructure, compliance has proven demanding. ADC's candid admission of its readiness gap has drawn mixed reactions. Supporters argue that the party's transparency signals maturity, while critics question why a national political organization would remain unprepared for digital reforms in an increasingly technology-driven electoral environment. Behind the scenes, discussions within ADC are said to be intensifying. Sources familiar with the party's internal deliberations indicate that leaders are weighing the political risks of a hurried digitization effort against the strategic advantages of early consensus. While no official endorsement has been announced, Obi's name continues to dominate informal consultations and public discourse. The potential alignment would mark a significant shift in Nigeria's opposition landscape. Obi's 2023 candidacy under the Labour Party reshaped traditional party calculations, and any move to reposition him within ADC would likely prompt further realignments across political blocs. Observers also note the broader implications of the 2026 Electoral Act reforms. By eliminating indirect primaries, a system often criticized for empowering a small pool of delegates vulnerable to inducement, lawmakers aimed to strengthen internal party democracy. Yet the compliance burden attached to direct primaries may inadvertently favor consensus arrangements in parties facing organizational constraints. This is a classic case of law reshaping strategy, another political commentator remarked. What was designed to enforce structure may end up accelerating alliances. For now, ADC officials maintain that consultations are ongoing and that any decision will follow due process. The party has not formally declared a presidential aspirant for 2027, nor has it announced a timeline for concluding its nomination process. Meanwhile, the broader political environment remains fluid. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration continues to navigate economic reforms and governance challenges, while opposition figures explore pathways to consolidate momentum ahead of the next general election cycle. Whether ADC ultimately adopts a consensus candidate, and whether that candidate will indeed be Peter Obi, remains to be officially confirmed. However, the combination of regulatory pressure, organizational realities, and political opportunity has undeniably reshaped the conversation. As Nigeria's electoral framework evolves, parties are being compelled to adapt swiftly or risk marginalization. For ADC, the coming weeks may prove decisive in determining whether regulatory constraints become setbacks or stepping stones in the race towards 2027.